Okay, so good morning. That was great, Lisa. Thank you for sharing the GTL information, and Dimitri, that was very beneficial. And so today I just wanted to, in the ACA part, I just wanted to take a few minutes and just talk about how you can grow your ACA business. And of course, the first grade teacher in me couldn't resist this cute little garden theme. And it's that time of year when some people are doing some gardening anyway. So let's just get started today on some ideas about how you can grow your business. And I saw some people on here today that have a lot of experience with this. So feel free to jump in if you have anything to add or any ideas on how you can grow your business. So I wanted to start off by saying congratulations to everyone who was recognized for the Circle of Champions in 2026. I know there were a lot of you out there, and that's a great accomplishment. And we just play a huge role in helping Alabamians gain access to health care. And I'm just so proud of what we've been able to do. And what we do really matters. And I know we all get those stories of how having insurance has made such a big impact in people's lives. So I'm proud of us for what we're doing. And when I was a teacher, I had this on my desk all the time because, it just helped me every day to get my mindset right and know that what I was doing was important and it was making a difference. And so when I retired from teaching, I wasn't sure if I would have the same feeling about selling insurance, but I do just as much, if not more. And I know we all could share those stories of how we've been able to help people. And so, it really does matter what we do. And I'm proud of us for that. And then I also wanted to brag on us because, even though we lost those enhanced premium tax credits and we felt like this was going to be such a hard open enrollment because of that, our enrollments overall are up significantly from this time last year. So even though we kind of had that obstacle, I think we just all worked hard and we were still able to grow. And so I'm proud of that as well. And so now, I just wanted to look forward and say, well, how can we keep growing? Especially if you're a newer agent and you're just getting started. Like, what are some ideas that you could do or that we could help you with that might help you grow your business a little faster? And one thing that I came to my mind is help on demand. And that is not something that I have personally done, but my husband has retired just this week. He's retiring from his job as an electrical lineman, and he is going to start selling ACA. And I think this would be a great way for him to start getting some clients. Basically, what you do, you have to take a little training. It's on the same CMS Enterprise website where you do your FFM training, but you do a help on demand training, and then you're certified to do it. And it is like a referral program. When people go to healthcare.gov, if they want some local assistance, they can click on like get help locally, and then it will give them maybe your name or someone in their area. And so and then you have like 15 minutes to call them once you get the information that they're needing help. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click on this link when I send the slides out. This is a live link that you could click on that's going to give you more information about that. This slide just kind of tells how it works. You basically see that the consumer, clicks on help on demand, and then it's going to send the agent or broker the information, and you have the 15 minutes to, reach out to that person then and help them with their questions. So, I think that's a great way that you could start getting some business. And if anybody on here has tried it, does anybody have advice about it, or how has it worked for you?
Hey Heather, this is Megan. Can you hear me?
Hey, Megan. Yeah. Have you
Hey,
tried
good.
this before?
Yeah, I've been using it for years, and I was just going to say, everybody, if you do decide to do it, and you're not really getting any leads very quickly, or you're like getting one here and there, the more you accept within that 15 minutes, the more you will get. So the more you do, it's almost like the system is recognizing who's responding to those leads, because it was a gradual process, but now I get them pretty regularly.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you for sharing that, Megan. So that's something, I think that I'm definitely we're going to try that.
Well,
Okay.
I'd
Well,
like to respond on
hey,
that.
Tanya.
Hey, I've been doing that help on demand for about 2 years, and I've got some doozies on there. So if you're going to do it, just be ready. Like she said, getting in the weeds. There'll be some prospect, or I guess you'd say clients or ACA clients call in that'll be like, I don't know how to get my money back. I wasn't supposed to have to pay my premium because I canceled my insurance. Or they'll be on a plan that you're not contracted with, needing help. And a lot of it's a three-way call with ACA and escalations.
That
That's
is
what I
true,
run
Tanya.
into.
That's very
Yeah.
true. It's kind of like the wild, wild west. You never know what you're going to get on
Yeah,
that.
but you do get some leads that are good.
That's
It's
right.
worth it.
That's right. And they are all usually local. That's my experience, at least.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Okay. So you may get a little more than you bargained for
Yeah,
when you
You'll learn.
you'll learn. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Like I say,
Heather,
I've never done it.
Heather, in all seriousness, that is good information because a new agent, like Clay, and we can talk more about him later or now or whenever, but because I'm excited about him. But if you're a new agent, Bradford's old thing was insurance people are like dead atheists. They're all dressed up and nowhere to go. And so if you don't have enough calls coming in, or if you'd like to talk to more people, I think that is a great thing. I think if you're already packed to the gills, it could be something that you could get frustrated with. But I think it's awesome for people to know about. And for veteran agents that are now bringing in help, they may want to turn that service on. So that's really good.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. I think it's something that it would at least be worth if you're a newer agent, investigating that and see how it works for you. Okay, and then this is just, how you can sign up for it. It tells you a little bit about how to do that training. And this is a link that when I send the slides out, you can click on it and it will take you to this page that has these links. So if you're interested in that. All right. And then another thing that I've just been playing around with a little bit is I've just been doing some social media posts. I don't look at social media a lot, but I know a lot of people do. And that's a way that a lot of people grow their business. And, you can just target different categories of people, especially ones that have SEPs right now, like the early retirees. And so this was one that I just had Chat GPT make it for me, last week, and I posted it on my Facebook. And it was real simple and easy. I didn't have to do anything, but it just lets people know, hey, if you're retiring, I can help you with your insurance. Don't let that stop you from retiring. And then this is just another flyer that I had Chat GPT make that you could print out and distribute to places in your community. I've said before, I've been working a lot with some ladies that are recently released from incarceration. I've developed a relationship with the halfway houses in our area. And so, if I wanted to branch out and go to some other areas, I could print out these flyers and go to some halfway houses in other areas and just let them know that I am available to help when those ladies or men get released. I've just happened to make the connections with the ladies in our area, and it's just it's a blessing to be able to help them as well. So that's, just another idea I had. And then another, way that people are losing coverage right now is due to divorce. And I was thinking that maybe one of the places that I start targeting a little bit more with marketing is maybe print out a few of these flyers and go around to the divorce attorneys in Florence and, just let them know if they have someone getting divorced that's losing coverage, that I would love to help those people. And I do some of those anyway, but I've not really gotten out in town and let that be a focus of my marketing. So I would say that's, another, just think about some of those things that you might could target right now while we're not during open enrollment. And I did want to say, if you're going to do some flyers or social media posts, these are just, some regulations that CMS has finalized about marketing. So, you can't provide cash or rebates, gift cards, that type of thing to induce consumers to enroll. You can't say on there, everybody's going to get a $0 premium or anything like that, because, some people may qualify for that, but you can't just put that out there that everybody would be getting that. And then, of course, not miscommunicating enrollment timelines and deadlines. And one thing that, if you like me, in the past, we've had the open enrollment all the way to January 15th. And I know I have some rack cards out at different doctor's offices and businesses, and they still have that January 15th date on them. And so, I'm going to get some new rack cards made and go back and replace those old ones. We don't want, well, first of all, we might miss business because someone would think they had until January 15th to enroll, and really now they're only going to have until December 15th. So we don't want to miscommunicate that timeline. So if you've got some cards or flyers out somewhere, think about that. And this would be a good time to get the updated ones and go back and visit those places again and put out the new updated ones. All right. And last year I had this video, how can I sell ACA year round? And in this video, we just brainstormed target audiences for SEPs. And we had a lot of ideas of who you could reach out to. One that gets overlooked a lot is the unaffordable family coverage. And I know in our area, I've helped a lot of people at car dealerships. They seem to have unaffordable family coverage. It's fine for the employee only, but then when they put their wife and kids on there, it's crazy expensive, and it turns out to be unaffordable. And that is an SEP. They can leave that coverage and get on an ACA plan with the premium tax credit if they qualify. Now, they had to be enrolled in that employer coverage. If they said, well, it's too expensive and we're not going to be on it, then they're not losing coverage. But if they've been enrolled in that very expensive coverage, they can drop it and come to something else. And they are excited when they learn about that, because I've been able to save people $400 and $500 a month on their insurance. And so that's real money for people. So think about that if you're out marketing. Those are some people, you might want to talk to those HR people at the car dealerships. That's just the one that comes to my mind. Some of the nonprofit places are also, they have unaffordable coverage for the families. So if you want to watch that video, this is a live link to it when I send out the links or send out the slides. And so we have a whole YouTube playlist, and there's a link to it as well. But you really need to make yourself an expert. If you are dabbling in ACA and you've done a little bit, but you don't really feel real confident in it, then you need to watch some videos. You don't have to watch mine. There's lots on YouTube, or you can find some other things online, whatever you want to watch. But you need to really make yourself an expert so that you can add a lot of value to your community. And being more confident is going to help you grow your business. I know when I first started and I would get a call, I would almost think, oh no, I'm afraid I'm not going to know what to say or how to handle this. And so I wasn't confident, and it just hurts your business. The more confident you can be and the more value you can bring to your community, the faster your business is going to grow. So, if you're out walking in the mornings, just listen to a webinar. It's just going to help you gain more knowledge and become more confident. All right. And just, talking about social media, also you don't always have to be advertising your services. You can kind of show that you are an expert by, like, this is a little post that I had Chat GPT make for me. Just what is a deductible? You might do a little post about what's the difference in a copayment and a co-insurance, or what's the max out of pocket. Just make some of these posts that show people that you do know what you're talking about, and that you are an expert, and that you would be able to bring value to them and help them. And, more than ever, maybe this year during OEP, we're going to have a chance to help people, because from what I'm hearing, there's going to be a wider variety of plans. The deductibles are going to be higher, the max out of pockets are going to be higher. And so people are going to need our expertise more than ever. And if they know you're there and that you know what you're doing, I just think it's going to be easier for you to grow your business. And then always, ask for referrals from your existing clients. If you, of course, your ACA clients, ask them to, if they know anybody else, to send you people. But if you sell Medicare, we've got one agent, and she's done great. Just when she sells a Medicare plan to someone, she's already got them in there. She just asks them if they have any family or friends under 65 that are needing, ACA. And she's not writing them all, but she has another agent in her office that's, more focused on ACA. And it's just bringing, more people in, because almost everybody that you would talk to probably knows somebody that needs some help with insurance that's, under 65. We were Googling it the other day, and I think that Google said for people between the ages of like 19 and 64 in Alabama, there are 350,000 uninsured Alabamians in that age group. So, there's a lot of people out there that need our help. They may not even know about ACA. They may not know that it could be affordable to them. And so, just convey to people your value, that you are able to help. Okay, and then this was another video that I did that I think was fun. It was all about setting a goal to help you grow your business. And so if you want to go back and watch it, I would suggest that was a good one. I had a lot of fun doing that video, and I actually did it myself. And the goal that I had written down, I reached it in April. And so, that's kind of fun when you set a goal and you have it written down and you have that in mind. And then when you reach it, it's encouraging for you. And then you think, oh, well, let me set a bigger one. So, go back and watch that video, and don't be afraid to write down a goal and keep that in front of you. And then Lee, I don't know if you're still on here, but this is one of Lee's favorite things that he shares with everybody. If you've never watched this Earl Nightingale Strangest Secret video, you need to watch it. Now, it's pretty old school, but if you will listen to this and do what he says, it's going to help you do better in your business. So I would highly recommend, if you've never listened to this, that would be a good thing for you to do this afternoon.
Hey, Heather, that's the best thing you said all day. No, that this the whole thing has been really good, like really good. But that Earl Nightingale, I'm not gonna go on a tangent because we'll be on here all day. But you become what you think about, So if you're not doing as good as you wish you were doing, you got to change the way you think, because a lot of people don't realize, they'll go to work, and while they're at work, they're thinking about how mad they are at their husband, or wife, or how stupid their kids are being, or whatever it is. Or you'll be watching stuff on TV that causes you to cause drama, or, be jealous, or whatever all these things are that keep us from being great. And so you'll just learn that whatever you're thinking is what's going to end up happening in your life, and it's powerful. So it's really good. If you're struggling, or if you know people that are, that's a really good thing to share with them. So appreciate it, Heather.
Yeah, I love it. I listen, even though I've listened to it many times, I still just like to go back and listen to it again just to reaffirm what I already know is the truth. It's great. So
Hey, but
highly
here's the
recommend.
thing, Heather. Let me just give a. As soon as you hit play, like he's a monotone. He sounds like a bullfrog talking, and you're gonna be like, ah, I hear you, Lee, but this ain't for me. You got to get through the first 2 or 3 minutes and realize how smart the guy is that's talking. Because when I heard it, I popped it in a CD player and the guy started talking. I was like, what? What? You know, I was 26 or something. I was trying to listen to something way different.
Well, it can be life changing if you listen to it and you apply it. It's great. So,
It, it
all right.
it's good.
Yeah, it is. And so, you're going to be somewhere a year from now. And I think this is what Earl Nightingale and, any kind of thing that you listen to, like about personal growth, you're going to be somewhere a year from now. So just be intentional about where you're wanting to go. If you're just kind of sitting around saying, well, let's just see, maybe somebody will call, or I don't know, let's see how this goes, you may not be where you want to be. So just be intentional and make sure you know where you're wanting to go. And, if you have some limiting beliefs, identify those and examine if they're really true. Because I heard a lot of people during open enrollment say, oh, we're going to lose so many clients. We're not going to be able to grow. This is going to kill ACA, losing the subsidies, the enhanced subsidies. But that just really wasn't the truth. It might have been for those people that believed that. But those of us that thought, hey, I think this is an opportunity for us to help people more, they're going to need more guidance than ever, so just try to identify if you have some beliefs that are limiting you in what you think is possible. Those may not really be the truth. So, just stay focused on the positive. I think is going to help you grow your business too. And and then I heard this little quote from an agent the other day. He said, I just treat every problem as if it were my own. And I thought, well, that's good, when somebody calls. And I know that I've had people call me and they may have a United Healthcare plan that they're having trouble with. And even though I can't help them necessarily with that, I take time to listen to them. I give them the marketplace phone number, tell them who they could call and maybe what they need to do. And, I'm not getting paid for that, but I'm being generous with my time. And I think if you're willing to be generous with your time and maybe help people that you're not even going to get paid from, that's going to come back to you tenfold. So, when somebody calls, just be willing to listen to them, be generous with your time. And then, of course, always be generous with your money. That's just always going to come back to you as well and help you grow. So, does anybody else have any ideas that they want to share? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
all you have
oh,
to do is just ask. That's it. Because
mhm.
the biggest thing in our industry is we don't like the word no. Sometimes we think the word no is a failure, but sometimes it takes 5 to 7 no's to get that one yes. And as soon as you get that first yes, it's cake. It's a piece of cake.
I love that, Rick. Yesterday when I was walking out of Walmart, I heard, how they have like the radio thing going outside of Walmart, and the guy on there said, I may find some things that don't work, but I'm not going to fail. And I thought, well, that's a good way to look at it. And that's kind of like what you're saying, Rick. Like you may find some people that say no, but as long as you keep asking, you're not going to fail. And as long as you keep trying ideas, you may find some things that don't work, but you're not going to fail as long as you keep trying. And then you're going to stumble up on stuff that does work. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Does anybody else have anything?
I know we're on a time limit, so let me tee up a future call, but hopefully not too far in the future. The
Okay.
thing I'm fixed on, and back to Clay, we're all honest with each other, like me and you, but also me and you with everybody else, like that's on the call. And so, me and my brother are tight. He is a great person, but he's always been a blue collar worker. And so now he's getting a professional headshot done next week. So he's about to be in a whole new world. And Clay's focus is going to be in the ACA department, to start with, and maybe hopefully forever. But one thing we're going to be doing with Clay, and I know people already do it, so it's not some new idea. We've just never focused on it before. But Clay's going to have a calendar, and we're going to try to start scheduling ACA enrollments for November at small businesses. And so it's a real easy conversation for Clay to go around and you can cold call businesses and you're just asking them, do you offer group health insurance? If the answer is no, you just say, and I know I'm talking to a lot of experts here. I see the names on the call, but just for training, like to help everybody, I think it's great to get out a calendar and book yourself some enrollments at small businesses to where you just go sit in the break room and people come to you one at a time. And you find enrollments that way because it's real professional. You know, people know who you are, so they're going to want you coming back every year. And it's just so much different than, you know, nothing wrong with the first service y'all talked about, but a lot of random people that don't know who you are or you don't have as much value to them. I think when you meet them in the workplace, there's a lot of trust there. And the volume that you can get from it too, I think is great. You know, you walk into a place with 30 or 40 people and they're not offered group health, then you're going to come out, with some enrollments. So, uh, I want everybody, if anybody has stuff to share about that, if they're doing it already, it's real life for us because Clay is coming, in a week or two, he'll be here and we'll be doing that. So we want to get really good at it. And we think that it may be, at least for us locally, a good way for us to set up marketing enrollments, on behalf of us and anybody else we can. So, uh, yeah, that's a big one to me, and I hope that we can spend more time talking about it. So,
Hey, Lee,
Yeah, we're
I'm gonna say something, Lee, on that. Lee, I'm really proud of your brother for doing that. It takes a lot of um, faith to jump out into this type of business. But I will tell you, if he does it and he's successful, now he has a Medicare book of business right after that, because eventually they're going to turn 65. And if he's taking care of those clients like he should, and like we all do, you got a client for life. So when they turn
yep,
65, they're going to call.
yep, you're exactly right. And some
yeah.
of those 40 employees will already be 65. You'll be dual marketing in the small business workspace. So, thank you, Rick, and we are proud of him, and we'll be pulling for him. But you know what? If he ain't no good, he's got to hit the road.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, he
And
can say
I
that. He
just
can say that about his brother now because he's not on the call.
Yeah, he's bigger than me. I wouldn't say that to his face. Oh, now
Oh
Heather, this has
goodness.
been wonderful. This really has.
Well, thank you, Lee. I appreciate your input. And the first grade teacher in me just noticed that I spelled ideas wrong here. So I apologize for that. That is terrible. So anyway, thank you all for being on here. And we didn't get to the chat about everything. Lisa or Lee, let's see if there's anything in the chat that we need to see. Okay, yeah, I can send those. Yeah, I'm going to send out everything. Oh, taking us to church. Yes, I did kind of go to church today. I brought back the Bible school, but yes, and mindset is everything. Yes, so these are all very good comments. Thank you so much. And spend time on learning and the mindset training. It is very important. And be more interested than interesting. I like that, Alicia. Ask questions and learn their concerns. That's great. And then Tanya Bunch. Oh, local community colleges. Okay, I didn't think about that. Thanks, Tanya. All right. Um, Yes, going to the small businesses. Oh, in Spanish. Yeah. Oh, those are great comments. So thank you all so much for being on here. And I appreciate everybody's input and keep us posted on your progress. Maybe we can do more calls like this and share what's working. So y'all have a great day.